just as an interesting fact, that in the workplace, because we often talk about stress in the workplace being really high, if you imagine that if you don't get enough sleep, what it's going to affect you, how it's going to affect you, that 40% of people fall asleep at work inadvertently. 40% of people. That's what lack of sleep can do to you.
Good morning and welcome to Super Saturday. Today we're going to be talking again with the lovely Paula about food and drink. Foods that we all know are good for us but we don't eat. Drink that we all know is good for us but we don't have. Wine is my drink of choice. But I'm sure Paula's going to have something to say on that. So how does food and drink... we know a lot about how our food and drink affects us physically. Yeah. But how does our food and drink affect us mentally?
It's massive. It really is. And we don't actually associate it with the same. We are bombarded with, you should be eating this and not eating this. You should be on a diet. You should, all should things. But what we are, again, focusing on, we've talked about this before, is how you should look.
Absolutely.
But not many people associate it with actually being healthy. I think, during this lockdown, we have heard more about that. The less weight you're carrying, the healthier you are, the more likely you are to overcome illnesses, which is absolutely true. But it also affects our mental health. It can affect our mental health with the way that we look, because we don't like the way that we look, but also what we put in, as we've said, what you put in and what you get out in life in general, but also for yourself. So if we feed ourselves lots of carbohydrates and lots of sugars, we'll get massive high, but the low will be even lower. And if you're already struggling with stress and anxiety, that low is really, really low. And you will turn to more of it because you want that high all the time. And, if you are one to have energy drinks or, sort of stuff that's a brownie coloured liquid.
Lauren.
Obviously I can't publicise, but it's very common and it's been around a long time. If you drink 1 can of that, it takes 20 litres of water to flush that through your body.
20 litres?
And that is what we're doing to our bodies.
That is
day
incredible.
After day.
And especially when you think the recommended water is 2 litres a day?
It is, yeah.
So you're looking at 10 days worth of recommended water consumption to flush 1 can of cola through.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah, exactly. And it's when you come to those sort of statistics, I mean, you can get statistics from all over the place, can't you? Some would say, it's only 5 litres, or some even say up to 30 litres, because it all depends on your body. Not everybody's the same. And, one size doesn't fit all. But it takes an awful lot of pure liquid to flush that through. And it has a real effect on how we feel. If you were to feed yourself really healthy foods, lots of water, you are going to have way more energy. But we think if we have sugar, that's going to give us energy. If we have caffeine, that's going to give us a high. If you were to cut those out, you'd have all of those withdrawal symptoms. Is there a message there?
So again, maybe we're looking at sort of everything in moderation.
Absolutely.
And we spoke before about people having a diet that they can afford to have.
Yeah.
So we're not sitting here advocating that everybody goes out, buys fresh meat, fresh fish, vegetables, fruit, and has that every day.
Yeah.
Because like you say, the £1 ping meal is fine, but just not a £1 ping meal every single day.
Yeah, exactly. We're all very aware that everybody's on a budget, and especially at the moment with people losing their jobs and everything else, that we can't all afford to shop in the best places with the best quality foods. That's not realistic, and I'm all about being realistic and what's manageable. So I would suggest that if you can't afford to eat in that way every day, then balance that out with what we'd call a ping meal, but make sure you have some more fruit or veg on different days and that type of thing. Also the same with your wine.
Had to get on it.
Oh yes. But no, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. If if you go out on a Saturday night, you have 10 pints, you have a kebab at 3 o'clock in the morning, and you feel absolutely rubbish on a Sunday. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. And it's not for me to say that you shouldn't do that. But then for the rest of the week, really try to be as healthy as you possibly can, because your body needs it. What you put in is what you get out, is what I would say all the time. But do it, everything in moderation.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love my food the same as anybody else. And I wouldn't want to give up certain parts of that just to live longer, if you like. We've got to enjoy life as well.
Absolutely. And I think for me, quite a large part of stress and anxiety is when I'm trying to eat healthily, lose a few lockdown pounds. And then my husband says, should we get a Chinese tonight? And I just cave, and I love Chinese and a glass of wine, and afterwards I feel really guilty. But over the past few weeks, meeting different people like yourself and talking to different people, I've really learned that not to beat myself up when that happens, because otherwise mentally it just puts me in a worse place. Absolutely. Ready to get up tomorrow morning and it's a new day. Love the Chinese last night, but today we're going to have a nice sensible day.
Yeah.
So but it's a balance.
It's a balance, but it's also saying, I really enjoyed that. I really, really enjoyed that glass of wine. I enjoyed drinking a glass of wine. I enjoyed the Chinese.
Back to yesterday.
Exactly.
Let yourself do things you enjoy.
Exactly. So important.
Well, I'm really lucky because I'm really enjoying this week being able to sit and chat with Paula. So tune in again tomorrow when we're going to have something really special for Sunday.